All right, so get this. A Chinese company called DeepSeek. They might have just pulled off, like, the biggest upset in tech history.
Oh, wow.
We're talking about their new AI model R1 and the shockwaves it's sending through the industry. We've got this YouTube video from Fireship all queued up. It's called Big Tech in Panic Mode. Did DeepSeek R1 just pop the AI bubble?
Okay.
So let's dive in and see if this is really the AI Sputnik moment like they're making it out to be.
Yeah, it's certainly shaking things up.
Yeah.
DeepSeek seemingly came out of nowhere and just dropped this open source model that's already like beating out the big players in benchmarks.
Really?
We're talking ChatGPT, Quadsonnet, Gemini, you name it, R1 is outperforming them.
Yeah, the video really emphasizes those benchmarks. I mean, it's one thing to say R1 is good, but seeing like top these tests that are designed to push AI to its limits, it's pretty wild.
It really highlights the fact that this isn't just hype.
Right.
R1 passing these tests means it's demonstrating real capability across a variety of complex tasks.
Yeah.
Things like understanding and responding to complex language, logical reasoning, even coding.
Wow.
And it's doing it better than some of the models we thought were at the forefront of AI development.
It kind of makes you wonder what's the secret sauce here. Because DeepSeek is, from what I understand, a side project of a hedge fund that's more focused on long-term social value.
Interesting.
Not exactly the typical breeding ground for a tech disruptor.
Right. That's what makes it so fascinating.
Yeah.
You have these massive companies pouring billions into AI development.
Right.
And then along comes DeepSeek operating as a kind of passion project and just blows everyone out of the water.
Right.
It really makes you question the assumptions about what it takes to innovate in this field.
Okay, so picture this. You're Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, and you just woke up to find out a relatively unknown company had just leapfrogged your flagship AI model.
Oh, boy.
The Fireship video quotes Altman tweeting about how revolutions need direction.
Okay.
And honestly, it sounds like he's a little shook.
I can't say I blame him.
Yeah.
OpenAI has been at the forefront of this AI revolution, and now they're facing some serious competition. They're already scrambling to respond, offering their ChatGPT 01 mini model for free.
Oh, wow.
And rolling out this new feature called Operator.
Okay.
It basically lets their AI directly interact with web browsers. Think of it like having a virtual assistant that can actually browse the internet and carry out tasks for you.
Hold on. So you're telling me my dream of AI handling those tedious online court-ordered DUI courses might actually become a reality?
Well, that's certainly one potential application.
Okay.
But think about the bigger picture. What happens when AI can seamlessly navigate the web, gather information, and perform tasks online?
Yeah.
It could revolutionize everything from how we work to how we shop, how we learn, even how we interact with each other.
That's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
And it's not just the tech world that's feeling the tremors.
Right.
Fireship mentioned that the stock market has taken a hit. Almost $1 trillion in value wiped out. Is that all because of R1?
It's a major contributing factor.
Okay.
Remember Nvidia?
Yeah.
The company that essentially had a lock on the hardware and software needed to train these massive AI models. Well, DeepSeek developed R1 in a way that allows it to run efficiently on much less powerful and less expensive hardware.
Really?
Like the Apple M2 Ultra.
So basically they've sidestepped the need for NVIDIA's expensive tech altogether?
Exactly. And that's a game changer.
Wow.
Because it undermines NVIDIA's dominance and opens up the possibility of developing advanced AI without needing to invest in their specialized and often costly infrastructure. It's a huge win for accessibility, potentially lowering the barrier to entry for researchers and developers who don't have the resources of a Google or a Microsoft.
This is where it gets really interesting for you listening in. Think about the implications here. What could it mean for you if powerful AI technology becomes more accessible? What are the possibilities that excite you? What are the potential downsides that make you pause? We'll explore those questions further as we continue our deep dive.
Good questions.
Yeah. It really does make you wonder, like, what kind of innovations we might see, you know, when more people have access to this level of AI power.
Absolutely. And remember, we're talking about a model that DeepSeek developed for less than $10 million.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Compare that to the billions that companies like Google and OpenAI have invested.
Right.
And it really changes the perception of what's possible.
It almost feels like we're on the verge of this massive paradigm shift.
Yeah.
Fireship even quoted Mark Andreessen.
Oh, right.
You know, the venture capitalist who's known for his pretty bold tech predictions, calling R1 one of the most amazing and impressive breakthroughs he's ever seen.
Wow.
He even went so far as to call it a profound gift to the world.
That's a powerful statement coming from someone like Andreessen.
Yeah.
It shows that even those who have been deeply involved in shaping the existing tech landscape recognize the disruptive potential of what DeepSeek has accomplished.
You know, after diving into all this, I'm starting to wonder if maybe it's time to take a step back from all the hype surrounding AI. I mean, it's exciting, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But sometimes it feels like we're just jumping from one big announcement to the next.
I know what you mean.
Without really considering the long-term implications.
I understand that sentiment. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of new developments.
Right.
Especially when things are moving as quickly as they are in the AI field.
Right.
But it's crucial to balance that enthusiasm with a healthy dose of critical thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Fireship video even joked about moving on to the next big thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like brain chips, quantum computers, or, wait for it, artificial meat printers.
Haha. Artificial meat printers, that's a new one.
I know, right?
It's certainly fun to speculate about what the future holds.
Yeah.
But it's equally important to ground our excitement in a realistic understanding of the challenges and potential pitfalls that come with any new technology.
All right, so let's bring it back to R1 and what it really means for the AI landscape.
Okay.
It seems like the biggest takeaway here is that DeepSeek has fundamentally changed the game.
Absolutely. They've challenged the status quo and forced everyone else to step up their game. We're seeing big tech scramble to catch up, investors reevaluating their strategies, and a much broader conversation emerging about the future direction of AI development.
And for those listening in who might not be following every twist and turn in the tech world, why should they care about this? What's the real-world significance of this whole AI shakeup?
That's a great question. I think the key takeaway here is that AI is no longer this abstract concept that's confined to research labs or science fiction movies.
Interesting.
It's becoming increasingly integrated into our daily lives.
Right.
And the decisions being made about its development and deployment will have a profound impact on everyone.
Yeah.
Not just those working in the tech industry.
So it's not just about who builds the coolest AI. It's about how that AI is used and who gets to control it.
Precisely. And the emergence of open source AI, like DeepSeek's R1, really challenges the notion that this technology should be solely in the hands of a few powerful corporations. It opens up the possibility of more diverse perspectives and applications, which could lead to innovations that benefit a wider range of people.
It's almost like the early days of the internet, where you had this incredible potential for democratization and access to information.
Right.
But even with the internet, we've seen how things can go wrong with issues like misinformation and privacy concerns.
You raise an important point. Just like the internet, AI brings with it a whole host of complex questions and potential challenges.
Okay, so let's dive into some of those challenges, because you mentioned earlier that R1's ability to run on less powerful hardware is a game changer in terms of accessibility.
Right.
But what happens when incredibly powerful AI tools become widely available? Is that always a good thing?
It's a double-edged sword, for sure.
Yeah.
On the one hand, wider access to AI could lead to a surge of innovation, with individuals and smaller organizations being able to develop and deploy AI solutions that address a wide range of problems.
Right.
Think about the potential for breakthroughs in healthcare education, environmental sustainability.
Yeah.
The possibilities are vast.
But on the other hand...
there's the potential for misuse.
Oh, yeah.
More accessible AI tools could make it easier for malicious actors to develop and deploy harmful applications.
That's scary.
It also raises concerns about job displacement as AI becomes capable of automating more and more tasks that were previously done by humans.
So it's not just about celebrating the advancements, it's about being mindful of the potential consequences as well.
Exactly. We need to have thoughtful conversations about how to mitigate the risks while still fostering innovation and ensuring that the benefits of AI are widely shared.
Okay, so let's say you're listening to this and you're thinking, all right, this all sounds interesting, but what can I as an individual actually do about any of this?
Well, first and foremost, I think it's important to stay informed.
Yeah.
Pay attention to how AI is being developed and deployed, and engage in conversations about its impact on society. Support organizations that are working to promote responsible AI development. And advocate for policies that ensure ethical and equitable use of this technology.
It's about becoming more aware and then using that awareness to push for positive change.
Precisely. And remember, the future of AI is not predetermined.
Right.
It's something that we all have a role in shaping.
Well said. All right, we're going to explore some specific steps that individuals and organizations can take to ensure that AI is used for good in the world.
Sounds good.
All right, so we've talked about the potential benefits and the risks of, wider AI access.
Right.
But what can we actually do to ensure that this technology is used responsibly? It feels like such a massive, complex issue.
It absolutely is, but that doesn't mean we're powerless. It all starts with recognizing that AI is a tool.
Yeah.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
Right.
The key is to establish ethical frameworks that guide its development and deployment.
Okay, I like that thinking of AI as a tool. It helps to demystify it a bit.
Yeah.
So what would those ethical frameworks look like?
Well,
What are some concrete steps that individuals and organizations can take to ensure responsible AI?
one crucial aspect is transparency as AI systems become more complex.
Right.
It's essential to have mechanisms in place that allow us to understand how they work and identify potential issues.
Okay.
Imagine you're applying for a loan and an AI is making the decision. Wouldn't you want to know how that decision is being made?
Of course.
What factors are being considered?
Absolutely. It would be pretty unsettling to have your financial future decided by an algorithm that you don't understand.
Right.
So how do we achieve that level of transparency?
It requires a multifaceted approach. Developers need to prioritize building AI systems that are explainable, where the decision-making processes are clear and auditable. Policymakers need to establish regulations that require transparency from companies deploying AI systems, especially in sensitive areas like finance or healthcare.
It sounds like we need a combination of technical solutions and policy changes to really address this.
Exactly. And it's not just about transparency.
Okay, what else?
We also need to be mindful of the potential for bias in AI systems.
Oh, right.
We've already seen instances where AI algorithms used for things like hiring or criminal justice have perpetuated existing societal biases, leading to unfair outcomes for certain groups.
Yeah, that's a huge concern. If AI is simply reflecting the biases that already exist in our society, it's not really progress, is it?
It's the opposite. It's amplifying those biases and potentially making things worse.
Right.
That's why responsible AI development requires actively identifying and mitigating bias at every stage of the process. It's about being intentional and proactive rather than just assuming that the technology will somehow magically solve these problems for us.
So it's about having a more human-centered approach to AI development.
Yeah.
One that takes into account the potential societal impact and actively works to mitigate potential harms.
Precisely. And it's not just the responsibility of developers and policymakers.
Okay.
We all have a role to play.
So what can we do?
As individuals, we can educate ourselves about AI, stay informed about the issues, and support organizations that are advocating for responsible AI development. We can also make conscious choices about the products and services we use, opting for those that align with our values.
That's a good point. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the complexity of this issue.
No.
But ultimately, our individual choices do matter.
Yeah.
They can influence the direction of technological development.
Absolutely. And remember, we're not just talking about some distant future scenario here.
Right.
AI is already impacting our lives in profound ways.
Yeah.
And those impacts are only going to become more significant in the years to come.
For sure.
The choices we make now will shape the future of AI and determine whether it becomes a force for good or for ill in the world.
That's a powerful thought to leave our listeners with. So to wrap things up, what's the one key takeaway you hope people will remember from this deep dive?
The future of AI is not predetermined. It's something we're actively shaping through the choices we make, the conversations we have, and the actions we take. Let's make sure we're steering it in a direction that benefits all of humanity.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of open source AI. It's been a fascinating and thought-provoking exploration.
It has indeed. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep diving deep.